90,000 people will fill FedEx Stadium today to see the Washington Redskins play their home opener. The Redskins had a disappointing loss to the Giants last week, but hope to get on the winning track against the St. Louis Rams team that came into Washington last season and beat the Redskins. It's the Washington Redskins and the St. Louis Rams on the NFL on Fox. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen along with Tim Ryan. What a great day for football here in the Washington area. And the Redskins, who feel they're a playoff team, know that to be a playoff team, they have to get their offense better.
Well, those offensive issues, Sam, go back to last year. That needs to change. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look at the quarterback, Jason Campbell, I am so ready for him to cut it loose. I mean, there's so many times where he plays like he's afraid to make a mistake. I'd like to see him let it go. He should get some help today from Santana Moss, his number one wide receiver. Santana, not a big impact in last week's game. Look for them to motion him and move him around, maybe get him out of the slot for matchup reasons today. For the St. Louis Rams, it's all about Steven Jackson. They go as Steven Jackson goes, in my mind. When he's healthy, one of the top 5 backs in the NFL. Right now, he's healthy. Now, his challenge, and particularly for his offensive line's challenge, they've got to get the beast, the defensive tackle, Albert Haynesworth, blocked. Rarely do you block him with one guy, and he has shown the ability that he can absolutely wreck an opponent's offense.
We're getting ready for the Rams and the Redskins. We'll be back after this from the Verizon Football Zone. Redskins fans pouring into FedEx Field getting ready for the home opener. Now it's time for the Autotrader.com Ultimate Quarterback Comparison. Mark Bulger for the Rams, Jason Campbell for the Redskins. What do you see, Tim?
Well, Mark Bulger, Sam, is still a good quarterback, but he needs help. Needs help from his running game and from his young wide receivers. They need to step up. You look at Jason Campbell, and besides a couple of errors in the second quarter last week against the Giants, I thought he played a good football game. You see there, 73% completion percentage.
Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace. The Washington Redskins and the St. Louis Rams looking to get on the winning track. We'll be set to go with the opening kickoff right after this.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
If you're looking for a perfect day, this is just about it. 71 degrees, humidity at 45%, light winds, sunny and pleasant day here in Landover, Maryland, outside of Washington, D.C. Danny Smith, special teams coordinator for the Redskins, sends out his kickoff return team. That is Josh Brown with a very strong leg. I think if there's one distinct advantage in the game that the Rams have, it's with the kicking game.
Absolutely. Kicker and punter, Donnie Jones, he can really boom it, so I agree with that.
Rams were shut out last week in Seattle. Play in another tough stadium on the road before going home next week for their home opener. Redskins lost on the road to the Giants last week, 23-17. Josh Brown is ready. And here we go. Rock Cartwright on the return from the 2. Looks for an opening and finds one, and gets upended by Keenan Burton, the second-year wide receiver of the Rams at the 25-yard line, 23-yard return. Rock Cartwright comes off. A little disappointed on the return. Washington Redskins on offense, led by quarterback Jason Campbell in his 5th year. Clinton Portis, the key running back. A couple of young wide receivers. We'll see Malcolm Kelly, but they want to get Santana Moss more involved. The offensive line, strong in the middle with Derek Dockery back after leaving for a couple of years. Passing on first down for Malcolm Kelly, was broken up. Good defensive play by the Rams, Jonathan Wade. So passing on first down, take a look at the Rams defensively. Chris Long in his 2nd year, high motor guy. The linebackers, James Laurinaitis, the 2nd round pick, leads the way at middle linebacker. Great story is David Vobora. And the safeties are outstanding, led by Oshimago O.J. Atagwe. Portis, lone setback, a couple of yards on the carry. Brings up a 3rd and long, and this is a situation that was not good for the Redskins last week against the Giants.
Yeah, not at all. And I think you looked at that first play, and clearly they were trying to open it up early. Had 12 personnel out there, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, which is a running set. Had the man up on the outside. Jason Campbell was late throwing the football, so then they come back and try a run, get nothing on the counter with Clinton Portis. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 9.
Out of the shotgun, Liddell Betts in the backfield and 3 wide receivers. 6 DBs in for the Rams. Campbell going short to Malcolm Kelly. Diving for the first down. He's out of bounds. Upended by Ron Bartell. And we'll see where they spot it. It looks like they're a little short, about 1.5 yards short. Here's the spot. Jason Campbell appealing to the official. That's Jonathan Wade with a head coach, Steve Spagnuolo, who was 3-1 against the Redskins in his 2 years as defensive coordinator with the Giants.
And has a great history in playing the Redskins, going back to all the days when he was an assistant for many, many years with the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East.
Hunter Smith is the punter. Line drive. Up comes Derek Stanley. It bounces, and he returns from the 21. It's about 6 yards on the return as he's brought down, and the Rams will go on offense after a 45-yard punt. Mark Bulger, the veteran quarterback. In his 9th season, Steven Jackson, as Tim said, he's the key to the offense. He'll get a lot of touches. The offensive line has been bolstered by the number 2 pick overall in the draft, Jason Smith at right tackle. And they brought in free agent last season, Jacob Bell. This season, Jason Brown. Bulger to put it up. Fires and completes to LaRon Robinson, and it's a first down up the 39-yard line. So both teams passing on first down. The Rams connecting. Look at the Redskins on defense. The big story is Albert Hainsworth, the man who blocks up the middle. Andre Carter with a strong game last week against the Giants. Brian Orakpo, the first-round draft pick, was very noticeable. And London Fletcher, everybody feels he is amongst the top middle linebackers in the NFL. Handoff inside to Jackson, and he stopped just short of the line of scrimmage. And who is it but Albert Hainsworth, number 92?
Well, Albert's going to clog it up. You run that way, and you're going to be in for some trouble. Watch Philip Daniels as well. He shoots inside the gap. He gets him on one side, and there's Hainsworth there. He gets him on the other side. They both just sandwich Steven Jackson. It's tough sledding against that group. This is a big challenge now for that Rams offensive line up front. You got the rookie out at right tackle. You got a real veteran group for the Redskins when you look at that defensive line.
Philip Daniels comes off. Kedrick Golston comes on. 2 backs for the Rams with a fullback, Mike Carney. On second down, short to Jackson, and he's taken down immediately. Good closing on the play. And London Fletcher, outstanding, and D'Angelo Hall combined on the tackle.
Going to be fun to watch that matchup all day today with Steven Jackson and London Fletcher at middle linebacker. It's hard for guys to block London because of Albert Hainsworth and the D-line up in front of him. And I would think they're going to make a concerted effort, Sam, that being the Rams, to get more touches, especially in the passing game, to Steven Jackson.
And with that last completion, Mark Bulger has become the all-time completion leader for the St. Louis Rams. He goes back on third down. That pass juggled and dropped, thrown a little behind Donnie Avery. So the Rams got a quick first down and then stalled.
Well, and the throw's a little bit off target. A really good job by the offensive line picking up the blitz and keeping Mark Bulger clean. And Mark unloads the ball on time, but it's just a little bit behind Donnie Avery sitting out in the zone.
Antoine Randall is back deep around his 10-yard line. The big leg of Donnie Jones. He was booming in the last week in Seattle. Good high punt. Antoine Randall waits for a fair catch at the 14-yard line. Mark Bulger with 2 completions in the game. Moves past Jim Everett. He's the all-time Rams completion leader.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on.
Back at FedEx Field, Jim Zorn in his second year as head coach of the Washington Redskins. An offensive man, but his offense, third lowest total point average last season. Only Cincinnati and St. Louis fewer. Short pass to Chris Cooley, and he's up across the 21. And Chris Cooley has now caught passes in 74 consecutive games.
There's such a you to me factor between Jason Campbell and Chris Cooley. And I know Cooley last year had 83 catches, but only had one touchdown, and already has one this year. Got it last week against the Giants. And I mean, he is the best friend of the quarterback, Jason Campbell. You'll see him targeted a lot in this football game today.
Splits out here, 2nd and 2. Little slant to Cooley for a first down. So passing game early for the Washington Redskins as Campbell has thrown 4 passes. Devin Thomas comes in at wide receiver, replacing Malcolm Kelly for the Redskins.
I was talking to some of the defenders for the Rams on the field today, and I said, what's the key today? Well, we got to stop Portis. That's what every one of them said. It's all about 26, and the Redskins have come out today, and they've been throwing the football rather than giving it to Clinton Portis.
2 backs in there. Mike Sellers, the fullback. The play fake to Portis. Campbell with plenty of time. Throwing incomplete. Kind of threw it away. Time for our first update of the day. Let's check it out in Philadelphia with Kurt Menefee.
All right, 6 touchdowns in the opener for Drew Brees. 1 already against Philadelphia today. Opening drive, Brees 5 for 5, 53 yards, and that 15-yard score to Marcus Colston. It's already 7-0 in Philly. Saints on top. Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. What a start for Drew Brees to this season. Wow. And the Eagles without Donovan McNabb. 3 wide receivers in for the Redskins on 2nd and 10. Santana Moss motioning. The blitz coming. Campbell completes to Cooley. Across the 40 to the 43. Will Witherspoon on the stop. Pick up at 15. 3 catches already in the game for Chris Cooley. He caught 7 last week.
And they run a crossing route, and you'll see Chris Cooley. You're going to put Malcolm Kelly's going to cross in front of him. 12. You see him flash right there. Cooley comes behind him in the zone, and Jason Campbell just puts it right on the money for Cooley.
Hollis Thomas in at defensive tackle for the Rams to bolster the interior. Here's Clinton Portis slashing across midfield. And down to the Rams' 46-yard line. A pickup of 11 on the play, and he's got a first down. Good blocking on the right side. Randy Thomas and Stephon Heyer.
Yeah, watch Mike Sellers, the fullback. He's going to lead the way up through the hole. Just going to lead right up into the B gap. There he goes. He's going to knock Witherspoon there. And then look at all these blocks. Guys could not get over the top, and there you have the crease.
The safety, Ashimego Atagwe in on the stop. Cooley splits out wide. Sellers shifts. And it's Portis. Ahead for a couple of yards. Down to the 43-yard line. Give him 3 on the play. So now the Redskins starting to mix it up with the run a little more.
Yeah, and they'll need to have balance. And you know what? Clinton Portis, to me, should have a fantastic year. And you go back to last year, and yes, he was beat up and hurt towards the back end, the back third of the season. But Jim Zorn, by design, didn't run him a lot in the preseason this year. Did not want to break him down, wanted him to be fresh, and I think this is part of keeping him fresh, getting Liddell Betts out there for some reps in this game.
On 2nd and 7, the Redskins call a timeout.
First charge, timeout.
Jason Campbell will come over to the sideline. Redskins on the move. Steve Spagnuolo and the Rams trying to stop him.
Sam, second real game for the head coach Steve Spagnuolo of the Rams, and you see there he's got a long history in the NFC East in this division. You go back the last 10 years, he has prepared 20 times to play these Washington Redskins.
We'll go back even further when he was an intern with the Redskins. Campbell, short drop to Cooley. Ron Bartell pulls him out of bounds. Another first down for the Redskins. And Cooley, the primary target right now of Jason Campbell. He's outstanding. 83 catches last season, second only to Tony Gonzalez among tight ends. He is outstanding. 11 yards on that last play.
I agree with all that, and I think that's a mental error by the Rams defense. We saw a lot of those last week, miscommunications. Cooley comes in motion. There's no way, if you got it right from a communication standpoint, that you leave him out there in the flat all by himself to pick up the first down.
Portis back in at running back. Off the play fake. Campbell with time. Runs, gets a first down inside the 20. That time he just took off, didn't hesitate. Wanted to go deep. Didn't have anybody, and he took off.
Well, he had Cooley in early, but he doesn't go to him. And this is, I think, what they would like to see from Jason Campbell. When it's not there, don't hold it. Just tuck it and run. He is an underrated athlete. You look at him rushing, and throughout his career, over 5 yards a carry. I know they want to see more of that. When nothing's there, don't hold it. Just use your legs and make something happen like he just did.
Picked up 13. First and 10 at the Rams' 19-yard line. Nice play of the drive for the Redskins. Here's Portis. Nice little cutback in the hole inside the 10. Another first down at the 8-yard line. The middle linebacker, James Laurinaitis, took him down. Clinton Portis with another strong run.
And this is twice we've seen Will Witherspoon get blocked by the fullback, Mike Sellers. And watch Portis read his block right here. I mean, he's going to take his time, be patient, sees that Witherspoon plays to the outside leverage, which was actually wrong by Witherspoon. Should have played it inside to get back to his help. On the outside, Portis read it perfect.
James Hall in the defensive end for the Rams, replacing Chris Long. First and goal for the Redskins. Portis, nothing there as Atagwe got him, but Portis showing good strength. Pulled him forward for 2 yards. That play was stopped short of the line of scrimmage, and Portis with good power picked up a couple.
And they've definitely got back to the balance here, being the Redskins. Came out throwing. But you look at the last 10 plays, there have been 5 runs in those last 10 plays.
They mark it at the 7-yard line, a pickup of 1 on the play. Second goal. Justin King in as a 5th defensive back for the Rams. Redskins with 3 wide receivers. Shovel pass to Portis. Bounced off his own man and falls forward to the 3-yard line. James Hall and James Laurinaitis combined for the tackle.
Watch Cliff Ryan right here, the nose tackle for the Rams. He is a wide load, and he is just going to stack up the hole. Look at him just basically eat up that double team and stuff Casey Robach right into the hole where Clinton Portis wanted to run. That's really good stuff by Cliff Ryan.
And quite a drive for the Redskins from their 14. Now it's 3rd and goal at the 3-yard line. 3 wide receivers. Campbell sends everybody out. Throws it through the hands and almost intercepted. Hard pass went through the hands of Devin Thomas and was dropped by O.J. Atagwe of the Rams.
And I think he had to put some real heat on it because Will Witherspoon was right there coming over the top. I think he sees Will Witherspoon at the last second and realizes he better put some octane on that football. Witherspoon was able to get in there and get a little bit of a hand on it, it looked like.
Now it is Sean Sweesom, 21-yard field goal out of the hold of Hunter Smith. And it's right through. So the Redskins put the first points of the board on the board with a long drive that started from their 14 and stopped at the Rams 3.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Visa. Visa debit is easier than cash. More people go with Visa. By State Farm. To us, nothing's more important than being there. And by the all-new Taurus from Ford. Drive one.
2 weeks left to the baseball season. The playoff race is hot in the American League. Yankees trying to close out their division. They'll play the Red Sox, who are trying to win the wild card. Cubs and the Giants. Giants trailing the Rockies for the wild card in the National League. It's coming up. Big games on Fox Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Good stuff. Kenneth Darby is back deep to receive the kick of Sean Sweesom. Darby runs up to get it at the 7. Byron Westbrook is down there quickly for the good tackle. at the 15-yard line. The younger brother of the Eagles, Brian Westbrook, in his second NFL game. He's played well on special teams for the Redskins.
Sam, I'll have my eyes on that offensive line of the Rams today. Big challenge against Albert Haynesworth in that defensive front. And, you know, talking to the Rams and the players, they want to create an identity, a physical identity. Got a great chance to do that today.
McMichael, the tight end, shifting. Jackson on first down, stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Cornelius Griffin, the other defensive tackle.
And another guy that's, you know, had an injury history but has been a very good player. And here he is right here. Incognito is already up and out of his stance, tries to cut him off. Oh yeah, that's just a terrific play. He's working a cutoff block, and Griffin does a great job of keeping his eyes in the backfield, and as soon as Steven Jackson tried to cut it back, he was able to squirt up through that hole, that gap, and make a nice tackle for a short loss.
3 wide receivers for the Rams. Keenan Burton in as the third. 5 defensive backs for the Redskins. Off the play fake. Bulger goes short to McMichael, the tight end. Ball's loose. Redskins have it. Up with the ball is Andre Carter on the fumble recovery. Rocky McIntosh popped it loose. There's a flag down, and the officials are talking it over as we take another look.
Randy McMichael just going to leak out on the screen. Watch the hat, the helmet of McIntosh. Bam, right there, knocks the football out.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Jeremy Jarman, the rookie out of Kentucky, called for roughing the passer here. No, it wasn't Jarman.
Yeah, it was Kedrick Golston and Arakpo. It was Kedrick Golston and Brian Arakpo is who it was.
Jerome Boger announced 90, but it was 98. So instead of a turnover,
that's
the Rams
a tough call.
Get the penalty on Washington. The ball up to the 29-yard line, and a big change of events. They retain possession. Bulger quickly outside to LaRon Robinson. It's up to the 36-yard line. Let's check out what's happening in Green Bay. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, what is happening in Green Bay is that the Packers were down 7-0 to the Bengals until Aaron Rodgers hooked up with Donald Driver, evening the score at 7 apiece midway through the first quarter. We'll send it back to Washington and Sam and 10.
Thanks, Kurt. Green Bay 1-0. Aaron Rodgers, good protection and looking good to start the season. Rams on a 2nd and 4 from the 36. Bulger steps up. Big time pressure. The pass incomplete. Intended for Donnie Avery. Good pressure from Philip Daniels and Cornelius Griffin.
Well, he's forced to step up because Brian Arakpo is going to go around the corner here. Nobody blocks him. Jason Smith comes out late. Then Philip Daniels and Cornelius Griffin, as he stepped up, were there to force Mark to get it out before he wanted to, and then the ball came up short.
Kedrick Golston in at defensive tackle for the Redskins. 3 wide receivers for the Rams. And they split out Steven Jackson. Pass to Jackson, complete for a first down. Well, they want to get Jackson a lot of touches in the game. That time they used him as a wide receiver.
Well, and there's a huge cushion. Look at all this space in between them. Jackson just going to come off right in front of Carlos Rogers, in front of the first down sticks, and that's easy pickings. And that's, you know, we're going to see a lot more of Steven Jackson as the year goes on, and we'll see it today with him featured in the passing game. Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator here with the St. Louis Rams, comes from Philadelphia, and expect a lot of the things they do with Brian Westbrook as a receiver out of the backfield and splitting out. We'll see like we see here out of Steven Jackson.
Jackson splits all the way out to the left side, and that pass intended for Jackson, but they stopped the play.
Prior to the snap, delay of the game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Penalties really hurt the Rams last week in their game against Seattle. Really broke their rhythm and stopped several drives and put them in long situations.
That's the key right there, putting them in long situations. I think they averaged on third down, the money down last week, Sam, they averaged about 3rd and 11.
Right.
Not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 11.
Kenneth Darby in for Steven Jackson. 1st and 15 from the Rams 36. Avery motions. Straight ahead Darby. Gets up to the 40-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. And back comes Steven Jackson and the fullback Mike Carney. Boy, talking to Jackson last night, is he ever happy to have Carney in the backfield with him? There is an injury. Jason Brown, the center, on one knee, having trouble getting up. That would be a big loss for the Rams. Jason Brown went off under his own power, tried to jog on that right leg a little bit.
I mean, it's Ken Darby that falls on his right leg and his right heel. Right there, you see his leg get trapped, and then he gets pushed over the pile backwards by London Fletcher, and maybe could have got his knee at that point. If he can't come back, that'll be a huge loss for this Rams team.
Mark Sedestrom in at center. He missed all of last season with a knee injury. Bulger runs and is pulled down, and the ball popped loose. Redskins say they have it. The Rams think Bulger was down. And the officials will sort it out here, and they rule it's Rams ball.
And it's McIntosh again coming in pursuit. He's just going to rip at the football. Watch Bulger in the right arm, and then Rocky McIntosh comes right here, and he's just going to rip with his right arm and rip it out. But I believe Mark was already down with his knees already.
He's spotted at the 47. It'll be a 3rd and 4. Albert Hainsworth is back on the field after being off that last play. Fletcher was at the sideline. I don't think he can hear.
No, there's confusion.
His helmet. The play goes. The pass thrown over the middle is complete for a 1st down. Bulger completing to the tight end Randy McMichael. McMichael, who missed most of last season with an injury.
Watch the quick release. They always talk about a quarterback release. Watch the pressure come from this side. Looks like it's going to be a sack. Mark is able to cock it and fire it before Andre Carter can get there. Now they're running some no huddle, clearly in my mind, to get these guys tired.
Picked up a 1st down at the Redskins 47. Avery in motion. Jackson, nothing there. Maybe a yard on the play as we come to the end of the 1st quarter. Both teams have maintained possession, gotten a couple of good drives going. The Redskins had one from their 14 down to the Rams 3 and kicked a field goal. The Rams started at their 15, and they're in Redskins territory. End of the 1st quarter. The Redskins lead the Rams 3-0. It's Hollis Thomas, new with the Rams this year, enjoying the music here. Sam Rosen, Tim Bryan with you from FedEx Field. Start of the 2nd quarter. Bulger in trouble. He's sacked. Flags go down. Albert Hainsworth and Andre Carter leading the rush for the Redskins.
Holding, offense, number 68. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Richie Incognito, who was guilty of a few penalties last week in Seattle.
And Cornelius Griffin came to play today, because that was him that pressed the gap and got up in the backfield on Richie Incognito. Mark Bulger didn't even have time to get to his back step to set up to throw the football before Griffin was in his face.
Ball is back to the 48-yard line of the Rams. 3rd and 16. They have to get to the 36. Bulger in trouble again. Tossed it out to Jackson, and he's brought down by Chris Horton. Big time pressure again. Rocky McIntosh involved on the blitz.
This is an error in protection. Watch McIntosh. He's going to come from out here completely unblocked. Alex Barron looked like his guard, the left guard, Jacob Bell, was expecting Alex Barron to kick out and block Rocky McIntosh. He stepped down to help on the defensive tackle and defensive end, and no one blocked Rocky McIntosh.
Redskins defense steps up with 2 big plays. Donnie Jones to punt for the Rams, his second of the game. Antoine Randall steps aside and takes it on the run. Up the sideline, nice return. And he stepped out of bounds at the 26-yard line. 41-yard punt, 15-yard return. That's Quincy Butler being pounded around by the Redskins.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Windows. Life without walls. By Miller Lite. There's light beer, and then there's triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. And by Hyundai Assurance. A little certainty in uncertain times.
The Redskins start from their 26-yard line, leading 3-0. After the Rams had a 10-play drive that stalled. Campbell checking off. Short drop. Comes back over the middle to the fullback, Mike Sellers. Nice job by Campbell. Looked right. Came back over the middle to the fullback.
And I know that's one thing he wants to improve on, is getting the ball out quicker and being quicker through his reads and his progressions. That was a good example there where he looked to the right and already knew by about the 3rd step of his drop that his receiver wasn't going to be open. That was his first read, came right back to his second. Mike Sellers, and delivered the football on time.
Picked up 12 on the play. 3 wide receivers in for the Redskins. And they split the tight end, Chris Cooley, as well. Campbell completes it to Malcolm Kelly. Up to the 44-yard line. Picked up 6 on the play, and the Redskins go no huddle. Stay with 3 wide receivers. Portis in the backfield. Everybody out. Campbell to Portis. And he's out of bounds, close to the first down marker. Ron Bartell chased him out.
Jason Campbell's in a nice rhythm, and I know he wanted to do that and get into a rhythm early in this football game. And Jim Zorn's clearly calling plays that he knows Jason Campbell is good at and that he can deliver.
Campbell down 9 for 12 for 75 yards. Chris Long back in that defensive end for the Rams. They've been out for several plays with James Hall in. Out of the shotgun. It's thrown down by Campbell in the vicinity of one of his receivers.
Really a heads-up play by Chris Long right here. He comes in. He sees Portis is trying to leak out on a little safety, and watch what he does. He diffuses the play. So he realizes there's a chop block from the right tackle. So, okay, I'm looking for the safety, or the screen, excuse me. And he looks out and he sees Portis running out on the screen and covers him up.
There's Chris.
Really, really good work by Chris Long. Diffuse that play.
3 wide receivers. Liddell Betts in the backfield down for the Redskins. Picks up the blitz. Campbell completes to Cooley. Very close to the first down of the 42-yard line. James Butler, the safety, makes the stop. Chris Cooley off to a great start, his 5th catch of the game. Cooley did not catch a touchdown pass from Jason Campbell last season.
It was Randall L., right, that threw him the touchdown.
So
he's such an underrated route runner.
Liddell Betts stays in the backfield. 3rd and 2. Everybody out. Campbell to run for it. Has the first down. Nice run with Jason Campbell, his 2nd good run of the game, down to the 29-yard line. Pick up a 14.
Watch Jason Campbell as he's surveying the field. He'll drop back here. Now he's going to realize guys are crashing down and slanting in front of him with the D-line. That creates a little crease. And another nice example of him making a play with his legs. And he talked about that on Friday. Said he needs to get back to it, running with the football when it's there.
Marcus Mason in the backfield on the carry. Good block from Sellers. Mason gets down to the 26-yard line. Pick up a 3 on the play. Redskins controlling the football very well, Tim, last 2 possessions.
The quarterback's found a nice rhythm. He really has, and they've done a very, very good job in protection. And that's an area, you look at the Rams up front defensively, it's got to improve. 36 pass attempts last week by the Seahawks. They didn't get a sniff on the quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck.
Marcus Mason with his first NFL carry. Now his second. He goes the other side, inside the 25. And he's marked down at the 24-yard line. James Laurinaitis with the stop. Laurinaitis, quite a story. Second-round draft pick out of Ohio State, who has come in and already has the responsibility of calling the defensive signals and loves it.
Well, loves the responsibility and the accountability of it. He's earned the respect of his teammates. Really impressed in talking to him yesterday. And man, it seems like he was at Ohio State for about a decade, doesn't it? He had so much success with the Buckeyes.
On 3rd and 5, Redskins go with 4 wide receivers. Chris Coolian as well, and they stop the play. False start against the Redskins.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's on the left guard, Derek Dockery. And now makes it a 3rd and 10 for the Redskins. Ninth play of the drive for Washington. Liddell Betts in the backfield. As Campbell works out of the shotgun, he looks very comfortable in the shotgun team.
No catches for Santana Moss yet in this football game. He's got singled up coverage on.
Everybody out. Campbell, a pump fake, throws outside to Moss, inside the 10, and down to the 8-yard line, a first down. You like that one-on-one coverage?
I loved it. Jason Campbell's got to man up. Watch him really sell the go route like he's going to take off, and then he puts on the brakes. As soon as Bartell flips his hips and runs, Moss puts on the brakes, does a comeback route, really timed up, synced up with the quarterback. That's a nice play.
Gain of 21. Santana Moss, Giants held him in check last week. They want to get the ball to him more this week. Sellers, the fullback, along with Portis. Portis stopped for a loss. That was a good play by the veteran Leonard Little. 12th-year man. He spent his entire career with the Rams. Clinton Portis limping off a little bit. Looks like a problem with his left leg. Portis to the sideline. Marcus Mason replaces him. Mason, first-year man out of Youngstown State.
I'd love to see a fade route to this big wide receiver right here, Malcolm Kelly.
All right, let's see. And the pass is over the middle for Sellers, the fullback, but he dropped it. David Vobora, the second-year man out of Idaho, Mr. Irrelevant last year, the last player picked in the draft. How's that? And he's starting in his second year in the NFL.
Well, and he gets lucky here that Mike Sellers drops this, because you can't make a better throw if you're Jason Campbell. And it's pretty good coverage by Vobora. There's the matchup right there, but a better throw beats good coverage. And Mike Sellers simply dropped it.
So it's 3rd and goal for the Redskins at the 10. Everybody out. Campbell flushed out, throws it away. And let's see. There's some talk in the end zone. A flag on the play.
There is no foul on the play. The pass was ruled uncatchable. 4th down.
Jerome Boger, our referee. Watch this play again.
Watch Bartell. He's out there on Antoine Randall. Pretty good coverage early, and then there's the grab and the hold. But the ball way out over here behind that white stripe. When it's out past that white stripe, they will call it uncatchable.
I thought a little holding there. Illegal contact, maybe? And I guess the pass had been thrown. 28-yard field goal try for Sean Sweesom. Out of the hold of Hunter Smith. It's right through. And the Redskins, another impressive drive. But once again, they stall inside the Rams' 10. but the Redskins lead the Rams 6-0.
Sam, they always talk about quarterbacks. You always see quarterbacks that are looking at the pictures that come down. Well, here defensive linemen are looking at them, and if you wonder why, they're just looking at plays. They're seeing, as you see James Hall there looking, where was the breakdown on a particular run? Was it the defensive tackle got cut off? Did the defensive end get reached? They're looking at those pictures frame by frame to see where, in fact, the breakdown was on a big play.
Kenneth Darby on the return from the 4-yard line. And he's stacked up at the 15. Good coverage by the Washington Redskins. The Rams haven't been able to get to Jason Campbell. They've stiffened in the red zone and held the Redskins to 2 field goals today.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King. Have it your way.
Sam, you look at the Redskins defense. Last week they missed a lot of tackles against the Giants. You ask yourself why. Bad angles, part of it. Arm tackles, another part of it. Fundamental stuff. Guys getting stiff-armed. You guys taking fakes right there as Manningham goes. Andre Carter late in pursuit. And then right there, out of control. D'Angelo Hall coming over. All you got to do is knock that guy out of bounds. Mario Manningham, he comes in out of control, and Manningham takes it for a touchdown. Much better today. They worked on it. Only 1 missed tackle so far in this football game.
Rams' 3rd possession of the game. Bulger on first down, throwing incomplete. The Washington Redskins today only 1 missed tackle by comparison. They haven't been on the field all that much. This is only the 3rd possession for the Rams. There's Greg Blosch, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins. And
that's a good sign.
Brown back in at center for the Rams.
It's a very good sign for St. Louis up front.
They go with 3 wide receivers. Steven Jackson breaks through the hole and turns it into a big one. The chase is on. Jackson trying to outrun the defense, runs out of room. There's a flag on the play. Great run by Jackson. Let's see what the flag is all about. He's out of bounds at the Redskins 23. A 61-yard run.
During the run, illegal block in the back. Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty. St. Louis keeps the ball. First down.
Donnie Avery.
Well, once again, self-destructing. I mean, that's the biggest play of the year for this football team. You get it blocked really good up front. Watch the combo block to seal London Fletcher. Incognito does a great job. Then Horton comes in and misses the tackle. Now Steven Jackson's off to the races. There's absolutely no reason that Donnie Avery has got to come in here and hit this guy in the back. And there it is right there on D'Angelo Hall.
The best news was
that it was
at the end of the run, so the Rams don't lose all that much. They're at the Redskins 36. Kenneth Darby is in for Steven Jackson after the great run. Bulger fakes, drops it off to McMichael, the tight end. He's tripped up inside the 30. Let's check out what's happening with Carolina and Atlanta. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Some scoring from both sides there, Sam. Matt Ryan hooks up with Tony Gonzalez, his 2nd touchdown in as many games. Same story though for Carolina's D'Angelo Williams. He runs this one in from 3 yards out. It's a 10-7 Carolina lead. Back to Sam at 10, outside D.C.
Thanks, Kurt. Good matchup there between
Tony Gonzalez, the biggest acquisition in pro football this year.
He's big. And just inside the 30, Steven Jackson picks up 5. Jackson had been held to just -1 yard on 3 carries, and now he breaks one. There's a flag on the play.
Holding, defense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Kedrick Golston called for the defensive holding.
Here's Golston there. He's going to try to hold off Richie Incognito from getting to his linebacker. Incognito's trying to get here, which he did a great job of doing on the big run. And Golston holds him, and the umpire calls it. There's certainly a point of emphasis on that this year, both offensive holding and defensive line holding.
Albert Hainsworth to the sideline to get a breather. First down, Rams at the Redskins 20. Swing it out to Steven Jackson. He turned late. I don't know if that was miscommunication, but didn't see the ball coming out of the hands of Mark Bulger and it flew past him. Bring up a 2nd and 10. Steve Spagnuolo, we started to tell you earlier, in his first contact with a pro team was an intern with the Washington Redskins at age 23. His job was to drive players from the airport to training camp, and the guys who got cut, drive them back to the airport. And here he is coaching against them. Bulger off the play fake, drops it off to Jackson. A block from Incognito. He's pulled down inside the 15. Rocky McIntosh made the tackle on Steven Jackson. There's Richie Incognito. Albert Hainsworth has come back on the field.
He is far from incognito.
You know he's on the field.
He's having a nice game today.
3rd and 3. Hey, he's a good player when he keeps his emotions under control and stays away from the penalties, especially the personal fouls. Keenan Burton in as a 3rd wide receiver. Confusion on the Redskins sideline, and they call a timeout. They didn't seem to have the right personnel in there. Daniels wanted to come on the field. Redskins have just 1 timeout remaining. Rams on the move, a big 3rd and 3 coming up. Washington's defense to talk it over. Now weekdays, make lunchtime your new prime time. Go to foxsports.com. We bring you lunch with benefits. You log on and check out new episodes of original sports shows delivered to your desktop. 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow it's the after party with Jay Glazer. 3rd and 3. Bulger. And it's caught. Beautiful catch by LaRon Robinson. Reached back, and it's a first down, Rams at the 5-yard line.
It was a terrific play call there by Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator, who comes from Philadelphia, has got a great history with Andy Reid. And of course, Marty Morton-Henwick out there as the offensive coordinator, learned a tremendous amount from those guys.
He was the quarterback's coach for 7 years.
Yep. I like him quite a bit, and I know he likes his offense quite a bit. Says it's a work in progress, but guys are starting to get it figured out.
And he remembered playing against you in the Rose Bowl.
He was a center for Michigan State.
Bulger on 1st and goal, throws, and it's dropped by McMichael. Chris Horton, the safety, covering him on the play. For the Redskins, one notable inactive today. Fred Smoot is down with a rib injury. So you're seeing Justin Tryon, number 20, seeing a lot of action.
Well, that's the big pop, obviously, by Steven Jackson when you look at that run defense. Terrific last week against the Giants, who had last year's #1 rushing team in the league. They shut them down for the most part, having some trouble today with Steven.
Jackson is stopped at the 2-yard line. They're starting to get some momentum going and some power, but the Redskins closed.
This is where Albert Hainsworth does his best work. Watch him filter down the line of scrimmage. Oh, he just goes right past Jacob Bell on the inside, then pushes Alex Barron out of the way, and then swallows up Steven Jackson. That's where his biggest impact was last week when you talk about the Giants offensively. When they got down in the red zone, it's when old 92 Albert Hainsworth played his best football.
10th play of the drive for the Rams, 3rd and goal. Carney is in at fullback. The fade to Robinson. He's got it. Touchdown. Great catch by LaRon Robinson. He was one-on-one against D'Angelo Hall, and he went up and grabbed it.
This is what this team was missing on their roster. A big guy that could run a fade route, and he's just going to outsize and outmuscle D'Angelo Hall. Bulger sees the one-on-one, throws it up right away. Perfect ball position, high into the back shoulder. It was a terrific move by Billy Devaney in the summertime going and getting LaRon Robinson from the Atlanta Falcons.
Extra point. Josh Brown puts it through. And the St. Louis Rams with a 10-play, 84-yard drive score on the touchdown pass from Mark Bulger. Back at FedEx Field, Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, the St. Louis Rams with a 10-play, 84-yard drive take the lead 7-6. LaRon Robinson with his first Rams touchdown. Beautiful catch and the first points of the season for the St. Louis Rams, who were shut out last week in Seattle. Really
good to see that, and to see him have that big receiver out there that they could throw the fade route to. Now you got to go out and play good defense. Remember last week, the momentum, the shift in the momentum when they went at halftime for St. Louis absolutely affected them in the second half of that ball game.
Different return setup for Washington. Devin Thomas and Liddell Betts are deep. This is Thomas from the goal line. Pulled down as he crossed the 20-yard line. Time for an update on the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Surprise, Kurt Menefee.
Yes, sir. Matthew Stafford's first NFL touchdown pass to Calvin Johnson, surprising the Vikings because in the second quarter, Detroit has a 10-0 lead. Sam and Tim.
It's been a long time since the Lions won a game.
And they matched up. They lost both games to Minnesota last year, but remember, we did one of them, how well they did match up against the Minnesota Vikings.
Clinton Portis in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. Campbell with time, passes tipped and drops incomplete. Good job up front. Might have been James Hall who got his hand up.
He was targeting Santana Moss again. Moss going on a square end. Bartell gave him a nice cushion.
Redskins from the 22-yard line. Campbell 11 of 18, 104 yards. Stay with 3 wide receivers. Draw play to Portis, picking his way through. And he gets up to the 28-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. Looks as if the Redskins were almost passing to try and set up the run, Tim.
Well, I think they started the game like that. And there's no doubt when you saw the start of the game in St. Louis, rolling that extra 8th guy up into the box versus that personnel grouping, they can get the one-on-one matchups on the outside. Jason will try to take advantage of those throughout the game today.
Well, Betts in the backfield on 3rd and 4. And the flags fly. Flags all across the field, and here's the call.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Again, Derek Dockery, second time he's been called.
Some of the things when the offensive passing game is working, you go to the pump draw. So Jason Campbell, who's had good success through the air today, drops back, pumps like he's going to throw, and then turns around and hands it to Clinton Portis for a nice game.
Have to get to the 32 for a first down. Campbell juggles the snap. Looking, throwing on the run, completes to Cooley. And he's got a first down up to the 39-yard line, close to the 40. Cooley's 6th catch of the game, a pickup of 16.
Jason, they're only going to rush 3, so they've got 8 in coverage, 8 guys dropping back. Jason Campbell surveying the field. You love the way he tries to leak out. He is a threat to run, so the defenders come up. He's still got his eyes down the field and finds Chris Cooley sitting right in the hole. That's Cooley's 6th catch of the afternoon.
First down at the 40-yard line. Portis and Sellers in the backfield. Sellers motions. Portis squeezes through the hole and gets up to the 43-yard line. Redskins have done a good job with ball control. Chris Cooley has been a factor already in the game. The number 1 target for Jason Campbell with 6 catches.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Your world delivered.
2 minutes to go, first half. Redskins have 1 timeout remaining. 2nd and 7 at the Washington 43. Portis, play fake. Campbell still has it. The pass intended for Santana Moss. A little overthrown. Shimigo Atagwe covering Santana Moss. Atagwe has been quite a story. That's a guy who's just become a superb safety in the NFL. Great ball hawk all over the field making plays.
Well, and the reason he does it is, yes, he's athletic, but he's so bright. He was a biology major at Stanford, pre-med, and he really studies the game plan. I mean, he studies as hard or harder than anybody on this Rams football team, and it shows up. Puts himself in great position to make plays.
There's 3rd and 7 for the Redskins. Campbell with time. Finds Antoine Randall, a first down at the Rams 48-yard line. Randall's first catch of the game, but plenty of protection for Jason Campbell.
Yeah, it's pitch and catch for Jason Campbell. And if they haven't had guys open down the field, he's been able to run it. And if I'm the St. Louis Rams, you better think about starting to spy him with either a linebacker or one of those safeties, because he's really hurt him on a couple of plays with his legs.
Not much pass rush pressure from the Rams. Marco Mitchell is in at wide receiver. Campbell chased. This time they got pressure. The pass dropped by Antoine Randall, who is covered by Leonard Little. As they drop back in a zone, Little was the man in front of Antoine Randall.
Well, that's what you call the fire zone, and that's what you do as a defensive end. You flash towards the offensive lineman. Leonard Little here, he's going to flash and then bail, and then watch how it opens it up for the defensive tackle. Stephon Heyer never even gets out of his stance. I think that ball was snapped early. Jason Campbell wasn't ready for it.
3 wide receivers for Washington on 2nd and 10. Campbell, pressure this time, steps up, completes it to Malcolm Kelly, who slips a tackle and gets out of bounds at the first down marker. The 37-yard line. Good play, heads-up play by Malcolm Kelly. Picked up 11.
And there you see the size and the big body. And he's a guy they really need to come through. He and Devin Thomas, the young wide receivers, both drafted in the 2nd round. He came in last year with a knee issue and really couldn't get right. I know they're looking for big things out of him. You saw a good example of it there, 225, 230 pounds that tacklers will drip off of him, and he gets extra yards after the catch.
On first down, everybody out. Campbell finds a wide open Santana Moss. Dropped the ball as he went to the ground, but they ruled him down by contact just across the 30-yard line. Here are the Redskins on another long drive. They had a 13-play drive, 2 13-play drives, end up in field goals, and now this is the 10th play of this drive.
They have stalled down in the money zone. That's been the story for them offensively.
The last play is under review.
And the review in the final 2 minutes coming from the booth upstairs as they buzz down to referee Jerome Boger to take a look.
They're already, the Redskins, over 200 yards of offense in the first half of this football game. You go back to last week, and they didn't have a lot of opportunities in the first quarter, but still at the end of the day didn't have 300 yards of total offense. So they're clicking pretty good in between the 20s today.
Okay, let's see. Did his knee hit the ground?
Knees down there. Hard to see if the ball was being dislodged by Bartell when Moss's left knee was down. You see better from this angle. Yeah, the ball's already moving. No shin down, no knee down. That looks like a fumble.
The ruling on the field was down by contact.
Now he could be down if his arm is down and his elbow is down. That's considered down before the ball comes out. Doesn't look like his left knee or his left shin is down.
Question is, do they have
balls out?
Do they have definitive evidence to overturn the call?
To me, it looks like pretty definitive that that ball comes out before the elbow goes down and or before the the shin or the knee go down. That ball's already out, and there's nothing down. That's a fumble. Now, the caveat to that is you got to clearly see who recovered it for it to be changed. And it's clear that the Rams were the team that jumped on the football. This is going to be Rams football, I think.
Well, wouldn't this be an interesting turn of events?
Now, there's nothing down, and that ball's already been dislodged. Looked like the hand was down, but that's not classified as down. It's above the wrist and the elbow.
This is a very, very important play. Redskins have played good ball control offense, just haven't put much points on the board. Stalled in the red zone twice, and here on the move again. This would be a big turnover.
Yeah, that ball's already coming out. That's Jerome Boger's going to find that he's going to review this and overturn it.
Rams had 3 takeaways in Seattle last week, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, but failed to put any points on the board with any of them. That certainly hindered their chances to win. Now Jerome Boger is coming back out for the announcement.
After reviewing the play, the ball was loose prior to the offensive guy's foot, knee hitting the ground. The result of the play is a fumble. It will be St. Louis ball, 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line.
You're right on the money with your eyes there.
You're loving
Mr.
it
Ryan.
if you're Steve Spagnuolo with your football team right now. You really are.
Bartell and Atagwe on the ball carrier, and they pried it loose and recovered. So the Rams, who have all 3 timeouts remaining, have the ball at the 30-yard line. The crowd is quieted after the Redskins were driving, and the Rams with a 7-6 lead. Very similar to last season when the Rams came in here and beat the Redskins. Jackson gets about 5 on the play. Rams letting the clock run down. One thing about Mark Bulger, he has been accurate with his passing and careful with his passing. He's had only 1 interception in his last 157 pass attempts. Bulger going short to Jackson, spinning, diving for the first down marker, and trying to get out of bounds at the same time.
You can see how nimble he is for a guy that's 235 pounds. And we asked him yesterday. It's like there's a flag down. Oh, yeah, it's coming back.
70, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Alex Barron, the left tackle, called for holding.
We asked Steven Jackson yesterday, where'd you get that jump cut? Where'd you get all that athleticism and the great feet? And he really had a great response. Basically, he said, I had a late growth spurt, so I was a small athlete before I was a big athlete.
Right through junior high school. Yeah.
He said it, his freshman going into his sophomore year, he was 5'9", 170 pounds. Hit a growth spurt going into his senior year, but still held on to all that quickness and all that movement and all that nimbleness that he used and had to learn how to play as a small guy.
So that will likely change the approach for the Rams as they clock winds down. Kenneth Darby on the carry. As we come down to the final seconds of the first half, make sure to stay tuned for the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Howie, Terry, Jimmy, and Michael in the studio. Scores and highlights. Fox Sports Ticker gets you up to date on your fantasy teams. And the Redskins, here's some boos as they head off. Where's the offense? Only 6 points for Washington. As they marched down the field a couple of times, long drives, and got stalled and had to settle for field goals and then turned it over.
Well, let's give Rams credit on a couple of them playing pretty good defense, no question. I'd still like to see him find that big receiver, Malcolm Kelly, on a fade route when they get one-on-one coverage down in the red zone. We haven't seen that, but really that last drive, it's what's plagued them going back to last year. It's self-destruction in the opponent's territory. They get into the positive end of the field, and they've had costly mistakes like the one we just saw.
Similar to last year, Jim Haslett was the interim head coach. This was his first game here at FedEx Field. And a big turnover. Shimago Atagwe, fumble recovery, ran it back 75 yards for a touchdown. But Portis scored 2 touchdowns. Redskins had the lead, but then at the end, the clock ticked 0, and Josh Brown kicked a field goal for the Rams to beat the Redskins. The Rams have lost 11 straight games going back to last season. They lead the Redskins 7-6 at halftime here outside of Washington, D.C. Back at FedEx Field, a short drive from our nation's capital. The Rams and the Redskins. And for the Rams, they scored in the red zone the one time they had the ball. And, of course, a big run for Steven Jackson. The one big one, they gave him 58 yards on that.
Yeah, and that's been the difference. And for the most part, they've done a good job up front, that being the St. Louis Rams, in the run game of getting London Fletcher blocked, because he hasn't had a whole bunch of tackles on Steven Jackson today. You mentioned the 58-yard pop, the big one. I think one thing that, when you look at the Redskins defensively, they've had great pressure on Mark Bulger, but they've only been able to sack him one time. Mark Bulger played a good first half under all that pressure.
Sean Sweesom kicks it off, and Kenneth Darby from the 2. Darby, trying to squeeze through an opening, is brought down at the 24-yard line, and the Rams will start the second half on offense, but they will be without their starting right tackle, Jason Smith. Adam Goldberg replaces him. Smith went out with a knee injury. That's the matchup you were talking about. Steven Jackson and the middle linebacker, London Fletcher.
That's right, 11 touches for Steven Jackson, as you see there. Only tackled 3 times by London Fletcher. The other 8 times, the offensive line did a good job of getting him blocked. Fletcher was everywhere against the Giants. 18 tackles for him in that game last week.
Bulger was 10 for 15, 57 yards in the first half. Completes this one to LaRon Robinson. Nice move. Robinson up across the 25 to the make it to the 37-yard line. It's a first down for the Rams.
I think if you're Steve Spagnuolo, the coach here of the Rams, is you just keep your guys fired up and pressing. He's got to be happy with the way his football team has played. His defense, particularly with their backs against the wall down in the red zone, really were able to rise up and play good football when it mattered the most.
Avery in motion. They fake the end around. Bulger throws it down to the ground. Had nobody open after the play fake. Take a look at the first half statistics. Rushing edge to the Rams, mostly on that 58-yard run by Steven Jackson. Big passing advantage to the Redskins, but again, a 1 turnover and twice into the red zone for Washington. They only came away with 6 points. Burton in as the 3rd wide receiver for the Redskins. Jackson splits out wide. Bulger steps up and fires, almost intercepted by Cornelius Griffin. The defensive tackle dropped back in coverage and almost had a pick.
And a little bit of what St. Louis likes to do. Fire zone, he's going to step, and then he drops out. They only rush 3. Mark Bulger never sees him. Does a good job, Mark, stepping up in the pocket, and has no idea that Golston is there. And that's what confuses the quarterbacks when you talk about dropping defensive linemen out, in particular defensive tackles. They don't account for him in coverage. And that time he was lucky that Golston wasn't able to hang on to the football for the interception.
Actually, it was Cornelius Griffin.
Griffin, excuse me.
Bulger on 3rd down. He overthrows Randy McMichael. So the Redskins come up with a couple of good defensive plays. Albert Hainsworth complaining that the Rams are holding him, complaining to the referee. But a good defensive series there for the Redskins. And Donnie Jones comes out for his 3rd punt of the game. Back deep, Antoine Randall. It away. Randall, fair catch at the 22-yard line. 42-yard punt. There was pressure on Donnie Jones. He just got it away. Lorenzo Alexander almost blocked it.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. By the GMC Sierra, the official vehicle of the NFL. And by Nike Pro Combat. Prepare for combat.
Look at that number on defense for the St. Louis Rams and rushing the passer. No sacks in 36 attempts last week, none today. And it's not always the sacks. It's you got to get hits on the quarterback, and they've had virtually no pressure on Jason Campbell today.
Clinton Portis from the 21, good pickup on first down. A pickup of about 7. I'll give him 6 to the 27-yard line.
The majority of the good runs out of this offense are coming right behind this guy, the left tackle, Chris Samuels. Look at what a good job he does, getting right to the linebacker and just driving him out of the play, and then eventually pancaking him to his back. He has had such a terrific career. Chris Samuels, 10 years he's been here. He's been to 6 Pro Bowls.
Randy Thomas is out with an injury. Will Montgomery, number 63, is in a drop guard for the Redskins. On second down, Campbell just dumps it off to the second tight end, Fred Davis, and Davis is thrown back. That play didn't look good from the beginning. Bring up a 3rd and 5.
Well, that's what you don't want, is to get yourself to really 2nd and 1. Can do anything you want. The playbook's wide open, and you take a big loss.
For the Rams, they haven't gotten a sack, as we pointed out. James Butler leading in tackles, couple of pressures from Leonard Little, and some good coverage by Ron Bartell, including a forced fumble. Malcolm Kelly in, 3 wide receivers for Washington. Campbell, Santana Moss at the first down marker, knew exactly where the chains were. He's got the first down.
This is what I talked about earlier. They're going to get Moss in the slot. They're going to run off the corner, and then he's just going to run a simple out route. Watch Devin Thomas run off Bartell, and then Moss out of the slot is able to get right in front of the sticks for the first down. And last week they didn't do that. He really lined up a lot on the outside, and the Giants were able to double him up and really take him out of the football game. They've moved him around, and I believe that's his 3rd catch of this football game.
Sellers and Betts in the backfield. Sellers steps up, Betts carries. He pushed Sellers ahead, and Sellers went flying. Betts gets up to the 36-yard line as he picked up 3 on the play. Will Witherspoon made the stop for the Rams. Jason Campbell, 17 for 26, 153 yards. The Redskins haven't been able to put it in the end zone.
There's the guy that's been big for this defense, James Butler. He calls himself a graduate system, in the system of trying to understand what they're doing defensively, and has been a huge asset to his other 10 teammates.
The Super Bowl champion of the Giants. Nice run by Clinton Portis. Another first down for Washington. Boy, they have controlled the ball up and down the field. 11-yard pickup for Portis.
And you got a blitz coming here by St. Louis. Guys are coming here, and it's going to end up opening up the middle of the field in terms of a nice running lane. See all the pressure coming from the outside. Then you've got Casey Robach one-on-one with the middle linebacker, James Laurinaitis. It's easy pickings for Clinton Portis.
Marcus Mason in the backfield for Washington. And Mason carrying, stumbles forward back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play for the youngster. Chris Long in on the tackle for the Rams.
Here's what makes this play go. I believe that's Lawan Ramsey. Watch what he does to Casey Robach. As Robach tries to reach him front side, that play is designed to go in the B gap, which is to the left. Casey Robach. Ramsey does such a good job of basically picking him up and stuffing him into that hole that the running game had nowhere to go but cut back.
The Rams call a timeout here. For early in the 3rd quarter, Washington trailing 7-6.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. This is the NFL Now with NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, the Now Network, official wireless service sponsor of the NFL.
Back at FedEx Field on the Redskins home opener, the offensive line has protected Jason Campbell very well. 26 pass attempts. He hasn't gotten the uniform dirty. Everybody out. Campbell under pressure, hit as he throws, trying to get it to Chris Cooley. Lawan Ramsey, who has played a lot in this game, waiver pickup from Tennessee, and he's done a good job.
He's been on 3 teams, and he does a nice work here. Watch Montgomery, who's playing right guard, in there for Randy Thomas. Ramsey's just going to bull rush him, and then at the last second, grab the side of the shoulder pad, rip it down, get to the edge, and get past him and get a nice hit on Campbell.
Redskins 5 for 8 on third down conversions in the game. And you see Jason Campbell under pressure. This one is a 3rd and 10. They pick up the blitz. Campbell in trouble, throws and finds Cooley again. And Cooley's down to the 35-yard line. Boy, you talk about a reliable man. 18-yard pickup.
Watch the coverage. Leonard Little's trying to cover him right there. He gets to his zone and basically only carried him to the curl. Matagwe blitzed up the middle, the safety, which left the middle of the field open, and Cooley found it.
Cooley 7 catches, 77 yards, 7 catches last week. Portis and Sellers in the backfield. There's Portis. Gets a couple of yards on the play. It's interesting seeing Lawan Ramsey in there as they look for someone to be strong in the middle. Adam Carricker was injured. He's done for the season, but wasn't playing particularly well when he went down.
And I think, partly why Ramsey's out there is Hollis Thomas is out of this football game. And you're absolutely right on Adam Carricker. They're still trying to be able to supplement for his loss up on the inside.
3 wide receivers on 2nd and 6. Campbell with time. Finds a man, Antoine Randall with a beautiful leaping grab. And he's down to the 7-yard line.
Well, this is an absolute laser out of the slot. He's going to get jammed, rerouted. He goes to the inside. Now watch this catch. I mean, that ball has got some real heat on it. Up over. Well, look at him stretch out and grab that thing. Terrific play. Now, if you're the Redskins offensively, let's take advantage down here in the red zone.
3rd time they've been inside the 10-yard line. They've come away with field goals the previous 2. Sellers shifts. Portis carries and fights his way for maybe a yard. That was a tough yard. Jim Zorn, the head coach, trying to find a way. Redskins have not scored over 30 points in a game in 18 straight. That is a long, long streak.
And you know it bothers Jim Zorn. And watching him last week against the Giants, that was one of the first times I've seen him kind of blow up a little bit and blow his lid and lose his cool. He knows he's got a good football team. He knows he's talented with his players out there on the field. They've just hurt themselves.
Justin King in as a 5th defensive back. 2nd and goal from the 7. Portis straight ahead. And he's fighting his way down to the 5. Fans don't like it. You can hear the fan reaction.
The fan reaction's probably right because the play didn't go anywhere, but you show me a real good red zone team that can't run the ball down in the red zone. It's absolutely paramount that you're able to do it. And the reason why is if you've got a running threat, a real running threat, what the defense is going to do is they're going to insert an extra defender, a safety up in the box, and you put a hole in that umbrella coverage on the back end that all defenses like to run with their backs against the wall.
2 tight ends to the right, 2 backs. Lone wide receiver Santana Moss. 3rd and goal. Moss to Portis. He's going to throw to Cooley. Too far. And there's a flag on the play. Might be holding on the Redskins. It is.
There's another self-destruction miscue, right? It's been the same story.
Holding offense, number 63. That penalty decline. 4th down.
There's the hold again on Montgomery.
That's the man replacing Randy Thomas.
They do enough on Cooley. David Vobora right there just gets enough of a shot on him to knock him off his track so that Ronald Bartel can catch up. That's nice work by Vobora.
So here's Sweesom from on the field goal try from 23. He's 3 for 3. But for Jim Zorn and the Redskins, they've gotten close to the St. Louis goal line 3 times and failed to break through. 3 field goals. It's 9-7 Redskins. Tim, all the offensive numbers for the Redskins look great. 288 yards total yards, 195 yards passing. Campbell is 19 for 29. They can't put it in the end zone.
Same old story. You go back to last year, he was over 3,000 yards passing, up over 3,200 yards, and they averaged 17 points a game.
They had 13 touchdown passes. Sweesam's kick is high. Darby comes up, but it's taken ahead of him by the tight end, Billy Badgema. And Badgema gets up to the 25-yard line. So the Rams looking for some offense on their own. They trail it 9-7.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. May the best car win.
Rams start from the 25-yard line. Steven Jackson in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Jackson fights his way through the hole, gets up close to the 29-yard line. Defensively for the Washington Redskins, their leaders in tackles, Rocky McIntosh, who's played very well. Cornelius Griffin with 1 sack, and Chris Horton with some good coverage. Horton has stepped up. Second-year man out of UCLA taking over the starting strong safety job. Bulger with 11 completions, 11 of 19 to 3 receivers, and only 1 wide receiver has caught passes. That's LaRon Robinson. Jackson turns the corner. Gets knocked out of bounds, close to a first down. Let's check out New Orleans at Philadelphia with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Eagles fumbled the opening kickoff of the second half. Drew Brees made him pay. This touchdown pass to Heath Evans, his 3rd of the game. Then the Eagles' next possession threw an interception. The Saints have just scored again. It's 30-13 pending the extra point in the 3rd quarter. Sam and Tim.
Wow, thanks, Kurt. Washington and St. Louis would like to see some of those points.
They're a different team without Donovan McNabb, aren't they, Philadelphia?
Whoa. It's 3rd and 1. Jackson takes the toss. He's got the first down, but they stop the play. False start against the Rams. A penalty sets him back.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 46, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
He definitely flinched. Watch Fells here, just watch his back end. There's the flinch. The play was set up perfectly for Steven Jackson, and it comes back as saw Fells there flinch just enough for the side judge to see.
3rd and 6 with 3 wide receivers in now and a shotgun for Bulger. Pressure from outside. He throws and completes it to Keenan Burton. And it's a first down up at the 42-yard line. That was a big throw by Bulger.
A big throw with a big man in his face. Albert Hainsworth, watch what Albert does to Alex Barron. He's bearing down on him. Now, boom, throws him and just plants Mark Bulger as Bulger's unloading what I call a bailout throw right on the money to Keenan Burton.
Albert Hainsworth comes to the... Peter Golston replaces him. Rams with 3 wide receivers. Jackson carries. Trying to get outside. Golston stood him up. Good play by the 4th-year defensive tackle, Keeper Golston. Rams, who had problems on 3rd down last week, have been successful. 5 of 8.
And on the other side, look at the average to go, much improved from last week. But on the other side, defensively, that's what plagued the Redskins on defense, was getting off the field on 3rd down last week, having issues again today.
2nd and 10. Bonnie Avery motions. Bulger, pump fake, goes short to the fullback, Mike Carney. Carney brought down at the 47. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a hold. on the St. Louis Rams.
Number 70. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
On Monday, after the loss last week in Seattle, their head coach Steve Spagnuolo has a corrections walkthrough. They go over all the things that set the Rams back, and penalties were a big factor last week, and they're creeping into this game as well.
Yeah, 10 of them last week. Look, they're 5. They've got to the halfway point here from last week and not happy with it. Clearly, Spags and Barron just that time couldn't handle Andre Carter.
Go from a first down at the 42-yard line, and now they're set back at the 32, second and 20. With 3 wide receivers in. Keenan Burton is the third. Bulger with time connects with Burton, and a big gainer into Redskins territory down to the 43-yard line.
Boy, Mark Bulger did not forget how to play football. This is just such a terrific. The guy's been under a lot of criticism. This is a terrific play. Andre Carter right in his face. Going to put a big hit on him, and again he delivers a perfect ball to Burton, who's sitting down in the zone.
Gain of 25. Burton has caught 2 passes on this drive for 38 yards. Jeremy Jarman, the rookie out of Kentucky, is in at defensive end for the Redskins. Jackson. That time he was stopped right away. Andre Carter knifing through to make the stop. Chris Wilson, number 95, backup linebacker, was there as well.
Cornelius Griffin is on his game today. He just took Richie Incognito and planted him about 2 yards in the backfield. Watch Cognito try to block him on this lead play. When your defensive tackle does that to an offensive guard on that play, you got no chance.
Albert Hainsworth back in at tackle for the Redskins. Lorenzo Alexander out. Bulger rolls, looks, nobody open, and he slides at the 40-yard line. Picks up a couple. Vikings and Lions. What's happening in Detroit? Kurt Menefan.
Remember that 10-0 Lions lead? Forget about it. Adrian Peterson, no one's better at this. 27 yards on the score for AP, and just like that, the Vikings have scored 17 unanswered and lead it by a touchdown in the third. Sam and Tim.
It's just not easy for the Detroit Lions. Bulger took a shot here.
Watch Albert Hainsworth fall on top of him and just splash him. Bulger's going to tuck it away and go to run. Watch, I think it's Hainsworth right there. He and Andre Carter converging on him at the same time, and Mark Bulger got up holding his low back.
And now a timeout called by the Rams. They're down to 1 left in the second half. Good lineup of games coming your way next week on the NFL on Fox. Redskins visit the Lions. Packers visit the Rams. Falcons at the New England Patriots. Late games, New Orleans at Buffalo, Chicago at Seattle. All begins with a Ford Drive 1 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. Starts at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Bulger is 6 for 8 on third downs. On third down passing. He throws here and completes it to LaRon Robinson for a first down. And the Rams are 6 for 9 on third down conversions in the game.
Such a rhythm and timing offense. LaRon Robinson here going to run a square in. Right when he makes his break, the ball's already out. And he's just too big out there for Carlos Rogers. But see, Mark, the receiver hasn't even made his break yet, and Mark unloads that football with precision. That's 7 and 9. You said it's 6-8 now. 7 and 9 for Bulger.
6 catches, 54 yards for LaRon Robinson. 1 touchdown catch. The Rams with a good drive going. Steven Jackson bounces it outside, and he's pulled down by the middle linebacker, London Fletcher. The Rams on the move. The Redskins have scored field goals only in the game. We're at the end of the third quarter. Washington leading St. Louis 9-7.
You're going to get team coverage an hour before you'll see it anywhere else in this market.
Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan at Landover, Maryland, just outside of Washington. The defensive coordinator, Greg Blosh, trying to come up with a big call here. Jackson on the run, powering straight ahead down to the 15-yard line. And a first down for the Rams. A good drive for the Rams. These are just third quarter stats. See Washington, 74 yards, Rams 82. Both teams have moved the ball up and down the field.
Yeah, the Rams have just been better when they've gotten down into the red zone where they are right now. They were able to capitalize earlier in the game. In the first half, the Redskins weren't, only with field goals.
11th play of this drive for the Rams. Steven Jackson, hard runner, inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line, a pickup of 6. And Steven Jackson is closing in on 100-yard rushing in the game.
And look at him hit the gap. There's no sideways here with Steven Jackson. This is what you call a straight downhill run. Right off of Mike Carney, his fullback. And he just goes north and south right into London Fletcher for 6 yards.
Jackson, last 6 games dating back to last season, without 100 yards. Here's Jackson. Wanted to go outside, and that time he was hit hard by London Fletcher. London Fletcher had 18 tackles last week in the game against the Giants, and some big hits in that game.
There's the fullback. Again, he's leading up this way, and Steven cuts it back. If he just follows his fullback, Mike Carney, he's got a huge crease. Steven does one of those jump cuts right into 3 defenders.
3 wide receivers for the Rams. Another third down play. Bulger completes it to Avery. The ball pops loose. Avery fighting for yardage. Lost the ball. The Redskins recover. First turnover of the game for the Rams. Donnie Avery in his first catch of the game, fighting for a little extra, lost the ball.
And Horton comes over and puts his hat right on it. There, knocks it up in the air.
Carlos Rogers recovers.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by McDonald's. By FedEx, we understand your business could use a Dick Butkus pep talk. And by Budweiser, reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
Sam, Chris Horton has been a pretty big playmaker, number 48. And watch him here as he puts his helmet right on the football of Donnie Avery. What I like about it is after he knocks it out, he finishes the tackle, takes Avery to his back. Then Donnie can't come back and try to recover the football. Carlos Rogers is right there to pick it up.
So the Redskins start from the 7-yard line. Donnie Avery has had a fumble in each of the first 2 games for the Rams. Portis and Sellers in the backfield. It's Portis, and he's hit as he gets to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Clifton Ryan with a tackle. Redskins offense today, outside the red zone, 40 plays, averaging 7.1 yards, but inside the red zone, shut down.
The problem is they haven't been able to run the ball down in the red zone. No running lanes for Clinton Portis, and they have yet to try to find a one-on-one matchup with the tall receiver, in particular Malcolm Kelly.
They lost a yard on the last play. 3 wide receivers in now. Randall L is in as the 3rd, 2nd, and 11th. Short drop, pump fake. Campbell in trouble. And they got him. The ball popped loose. The ball popped loose. Campbell recovered it, and it may be outside the end zone. The Rams want a safety.
If it's intentional grounding, Campbell was in the pocket. It looked like he tried to push it out. Not so sure it came out by force of the defense. Okay, he's dropping into the end zone now. He fades into the end zone. Let's see what happens as he tries to. Yeah, it's his knee. It looked like his knee was down and the ball was past the goal line as he tried to get it out.
Well, that's awfully close.
Sure is.
They run it out of the end zone on third down, and you can hear the fan reaction. That was the first sack of the season for the Rams, the combination of James Hall and Chris Long with the sack on Jason Campbell. But that time, 3 and out for the Redskins after the turnover. So a big defensive series for the Rams. And here is Hunter Smith from the back of the end zone. Line drive kick. And on the return, Derek Stanley. Whoa, hit hard. He was hit hard by Chris Horton. But went down, is okay. The Rams in Redskins territory, trailing 9-7. Great day for football here outside of our nation's capital. Hope you're enjoying it. Rams had a 13-play drive end and a fumble last possession. Now start from the Redskins 49. 2 tight ends in. Steven Jackson turns the corner, gets inside the 45, down to the 44, picks up 5 on the play. Want to correct something I said earlier. He last time he had a 100-yard rushing game was the last game of last season, and he is right there over 100 yards now at 101. Yep. A good day, including a big 58-yarder.
He's got such a unique style for a big guy when you look at him at 235 pounds with the ability to run over linebackers and run away from safeties. He is a special talent.
In the backfield with Mike Carney, the fullback. Jackson again. Gets down to the 41-yard line. Talked to us last night about studying the old terrific running backs like Barry Sanders, what he does. Eric Dickerson, one of the all-time great Rams, and Terry Allen, who played here in Washington for a while.
And what he liked about Barry was the starting and the stopping and the jump cuts and all that, and said he really mimicked that as a younger, smaller running back when he was young. And then Terry Allen was all the power stuff. And you just saw a good example of the power run game where they got the O-lineman out in front of him. Said nobody was better at setting up the power run game than Terry Allen.
Here's 3rd and 2, and the Rams are 7 for 10 converting third downs. Bolger throws, almost intercepted off the hands of D'Angelo Hall. He tried to hit LaRon Robinson, and that time the Rams failed to convert, and they'll have to give it up. That was an important series for the Redskins defense. Donnie Jones will try to pin the Redskins deep. That's Antoine Randall at the 10-yard line. 4th punt of the game for Donnie Jones. And now the Rams shift on a 4th and 2. Looks like they're trying to draw Washington offside, couldn't do it. Darby, the running back, was calling the signals and the hard count.
To the flag for delay of game. We have 3rd charge timeout, St. Louis.
That's an error. There was a couple of errors last week in the timeouts, and you can't get a delay of game there. He called a timeout, but he called it too late. Time had already expired.
The initial call of delay of game was changed. It was not a penalty. They gave St. Louis the timeout, so the Rams are out of timeouts. And you have to hope that it doesn't come back to hurt them later in this game. Here's Donnie Jones, and there's another flag.
Like Gatto moved quick.
Offense, number 35. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Now when you think about it, hindsight 2020, you should have just taken the delay of game and you'd have still had your timeout left.
That means the Rams cannot challenge any calls up to the 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, when it then becomes booth review. Jones, high punt. Antoine Randall looks, lets it bounce, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Redskins will start from the 20. October is postseason baseball time. We've got the best of it here on Fox. The American League Championship Series begins October the 16th, and then it's the World Series. Things are really shaping up in the American League. You've got the Angels, the Red Sox going for the wild card, the Yankees, Tigers are trying to hold off the Twins. It should be good.
Has there been anybody in baseball better than the Yankees since the All-Star break?
No. No.
Pitching and big bats, right, for them?
Mark Teixeira, 2 home runs last night, 5 RBIs. Portis and Sellers in the backfield. Clinton Portis, nice run. Gets about 7 on first down. Portis' 15th carry of the game, 64 yards.
Very key here when you're talking about the zone run game. Watch the defensive tackle right there in Cliff Ryan and watch him get knocked down. You get chopped by the left tackle, and then that opens up the big running lane right there for Clinton Portis. It's the absolute key in that zone running game on the backside. It's paramount that the defensive tackles stay on their feet.
Redskins, who have had drives 13, and 14 plays, would like another long one here, and that pass completed to Antoine Randall right near the first down marker. Might be a little bit short. Looks like it's half a yard short. Bring up third down for Washington. As we have said throughout, their biggest problem has been the inability to cash in when they're in great scoring position.
And Cooley's been real quiet this second half.
Cooley had the big first half, 7 catches. 6 catches in the first half, 1-7 for the game. And that's a good run by Portis for a first down up to the 34-yard line. Butler and Witherspoon combine on the tackle. Hasn't been a spectacular game for Clinton Portis, but it's been solid. He's got 70 yards rushing.
Threshold for running backs in this league is you want over 4 yards per carry. And you see there he's at 4.4 today, so he's had a nice day.
Betts and Sellers. Sellers in the slot. Campbell checking off. Short drop. Going deep for Devin Thomas. He dives, but he's out of bounds. Great effort by Devin Thomas. One-on-one with Ron Bartell on the outside. As Tim mentioned earlier, Devin Thomas, one of those young receivers the Redskins are hoping to step up big time this year.
That's just not a good throw by Jason Campbell, and it's on the money, but you'd like that thing about 4 or 5 more yards inbounds so that your receiver can run up underneath it. He just basically ran him out of bounds with the direction of that football.
3 wide receivers in. Antoine Randall in is the third, 2nd and 10. Pressure on Campbell. Screen pass to Liddell Betts. 2 blocks. Turns it into a big gainer. Breaks a tackle and goes down at the 40-yard line. Very versatile and valuable Liddell Betts with a 25-yard pickup.
And they set it up perfectly. See the Rams, everybody taking inside rushes, which gave the flank to Liddell Betts, had both blockers out in front of him. He's always been such a good change of pace back to Clinton Portis. Remember that great year he had in 2006? Anytime Liddell Betts has played, he's played well.
First down at the Rams 40. Portis is back in. Malcolm Kelly motions. And a missed handoff. And Portis recovered. Almost a disaster for the Redskins. A miscue on the handoff.
Looked like it was the fullback, Mike Sellers. Yeah, it was Mike Sellers that hit it with his shoulder. I think Jason thought that Mike Sellers was his tailback. That's on the quarterback, because that screwed up the mesh point with Clinton Portis as he stuck the football out. Sellers ran into it. Then he tried to regather it and ended up on the ground.
A loss of 5 brings up 2nd and 15. Out of the shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Campbell to Malcolm Kelly. First down inside the 30. Let's check out the Bengals in Green Bay. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
You know, all week Chad Ochocinco said if he scored a touchdown, he'd do the Lambeau Leap. He scored a touchdown to put the Bengals on top, but even though he did the Lambeau Leap, we can't show it to you. Let's just say some Packer fans think that he is number 1 That's why we didn't want to show you that video, Sam and Tim.
I hear you, Kurt. We'll find it on YouTube.
It's probably Niagara Falls on him when he jumped up into the stands. People turning their cups over.
Malcolm Kelly, 4 catches, his best day as a pro. First down at the 29. Campbell waiting, going deep for Kelly. He overthrows it. Well covered on the play by Jonathan Wade. Again, another long possession for the Washington Redskins. A drive that started at their 20, down to the Rams' 29-yard line. Redskins with 336 yards in offense, but only 9 points. And the head coach trying to find the way into the end zone. 9th play of this drive.
Time for Cooley, Sam.
Good. Campbell looks in trouble, steps up and runs. 3rd run of the game for Campbell, and he's brought down. He has trouble sliding. He didn't have to slide earlier in the game, and this time he hesitated and they took him down. Spot the ball at the 25-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and 6. Campbell, 3 rushes for 32 yards.
Yeah, he can hurt you with his legs. Wanted to go to a swing route there out to his right side. It was covered up well by the Rams. And if you're Jim Zorn, you like the fact that when it hasn't been there, he's tucked it and run today.
The game clock to 4 minutes, 52 seconds. The game clock never ran on the last play.
All right.
4:52 on the game clock.
4:52 on the game clock. There you have it on the Fox Sports ticker, Fox box. Jason Campbell, passing has been there.
We'll take that all day, 10 yards a pop.
It's a good day.
Running the football.
3rd down conversions, Redskins 7 for 12. Liddell Betts in the backfield. Quick to Randall L. Spins down to the 20, but he's short of a 1st down.
That's a nice read by Jason Campbell, and they were going to try to do things pre-snap to confuse him. He was all over this slot blitz. Justin King was coming off the slot. Jason Campbell saw it, was able to hook it up.
Jim Zorn wants a timeout. I think he wants to talk this over. He was signaling for a timeout to the officials.
As they're going to have to take it.
There's 8 seconds on the field goal kicking unit. And I think Jim Zorn may be wanting to take some time off the clock. That's what he did. Now the Redskins call the timeout. It is 4th and 1. Redskins with a 2-point lead. Is a field goal coming? This is a questionable call, but Jim Zorn right now is going to line his team up to go for it on 4th and 1 rather than go for the short field goal and a 5-point lead.
Yeah, obviously very risky. You don't get it. The Rams come down, they can beat you with a field goal.
Portis and Sellers in the backfield. Portis, 1st down, breaks the tackle, fights his way to the 11-yard line. The ball popped loose, it's ruled down. Jim Zorn went for it on 4th down 16 times last season and converted 10.
And runs right behind his big left side. Here's the missed tackle right here as James Laurinaitis tries to get over to it. Good block there on Witherspoon. You better get in front of his body. Laurinaitis unable to do that.
4th red zone possession for the Redskins. They've come away with 3 field goals the previous 3 from the 11. Liddell Betts cuts it back down to about the 6-yard line. Another Washington drive. This is the 4th double-digit play drive in the game for Washington.
And it's hurting St. Louis right now that they don't have any timeouts left.
Good point. Redskins controlling the ball. And they have got points staring them in the face. At the ball at the 7-yard line, 3 wide receivers in the game for Washington. 13th play of the drive. Betts turns the corner. Out of bounds inside the 5. They'll mark it at the 4-yard line. That'll bring up a big 3rd down play.
Well, you'd love for him to stay in bounds there. Now, if you're Jim Zorn, you like fighting for the extra yard and trying to get to the 1st down mark, but dig yourself a hole in bounds. Keep that clock going.
2 tight ends come in and the fullback for Washington. Davis, Cooley, and Sellers. Santana Moss, the lone wide receiver. Another Zorn runs down the sideline to get the officials' attention, calls another timeout. The play clock was winding down and they needed to stop it. Late 2nd half, and the Redskins leading the Rams 9-7. Coming up following the game, it's the AT&T post-game show. Don't forget, Big Shots Titans at the T, and we will we're hoping to take you to other games. We may go from here to Detroit, where Minnesota, after trailing 10-0, now leads the Lions 27-10.
27 unanswered for Minnesota.
And we'll be in Minnesota next week for their Brett Favre and the Vikings home opener.
It's going to be exciting. San Francisco coming to town to play Minnesota.
It'll be a good one. Right here, Redskins 6-1 in their last 7 home openers. Have 1 timeout remaining and a 3rd and 3 at the 4-yard line. Portis fighting his way down close to the 1st down line, but I believe he's short. And we're coming to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 4th down for Washington. 2-minute warning. The Redskins have moved the ball. 4 long drives, but they only lead by 2.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Your world delivered.
The Redskins are half a yard short of a 1st down. They're 2 yards away from the end zone, and Jim Zorn on 4th and less than a yard is going to line up and go for it.
Got great confidence in his offensive line. I'll tell you that. I would kick it. I mean, you got to put the Rams in a situation where they got to get a touchdown to be able to beat you. If they don't get this and the Rams drive the field in the last 2 minutes and get in field goal range and make it, just like last year, remember Josh Brown salted it away with a kick, Redskins lose the game.
I agree with you, but I think Jim Zorn figures the Rams are out of timeouts and they won't be able to drive the length of the field at this stage, but we'll see. The Redskins going for it again. They're 2 for 2 on 4th downs in this game.
Every time they've needed to run the football and pick up a 1st down, they've run it right behind Chris Samuels and Derek Dockery.
Correct myself, they're 1 for 1 on 4th down tries. 2 for 2 on the season. Don't forget, AT&T post-game show follows the game action. Here it is, 4th and half a yard. Portis and Sellers in the backfield. 2 tight ends. Portis went deep and he doesn't make it. The Rams stop him at the 5-yard line. And now all the Rams need is a field goal. And Jim Zorn has left himself open for a big second guess.
Yeah, that is not a good call in my mind. Watch the defensive line all get push and force this sideways. Witherspoon takes on Samuels and Mike Sellers, which forces Clinton Portis to go sideways, and then you see all the blue jerseys catch up.
Now the Rams have an opportunity. They have no timeouts remaining. 1:55 to go. And once again, the Redskins with a long drive down the field, 78 yards, and they come away with no points. 3 wide receivers. Bulger out of the shotgun. Still has it. Being rushed. And the ball is dropped by McMichael. Big time rush by Brian Orakpo. And Orakpo, the 1st round draft pick still feeling his way into the league, but you get the sense that he's going to be a good one.
I think he's going to be a terrific rusher. And look at that. Bulger, 16 career game-winning or tying drives in the fourth quarter or overtime. Now, if he had those Hall of Fame receivers still out on the edge, maybe we'd increase his chances a little bit.
2nd and 10, 3 wide receivers. Burton is the third. Jackson in the backfield. Bulger out of the end zone. Ball knocked out of the hands of Avery. It's ruled incomplete. Donnie Avery unable to hold on. Carlos Rogers with a big hit to knock it out. And here's 3rd and 10 for the Rams.
Avery's got ball security issues.
Yeah.
Last week had the big fumble on the kick return against Seattle. Today the big fumble down in the red zone. And right here he couldn't secure it before Carlos Rogers came and put his helmet on it and popped it out.
You can hear the Redskins fans. Bulger. Pass is blocked. Ryan Arakpo. There's the pressure from the youngster, and I think he got a piece of Bulger as well. It's 4th down and 10.
You'll see Arakpo come from the left of your screen right here, and then big Albert Hainsworth puts the hand up. Mark unloads it. Albert blocks it, and Arakpo, delivers the shot.
A hard hit. 4th and 10. Pressure on Bulger. He throws it up deep for Donnie Avery, and it's incomplete. Horton almost intercepted, but the Redskins defense comes up big with 4 big defensive plays in a row.
You know, they've had constant pressure on Mark Bulger most of the game today. And when you look at the numbers at the end of the day, you're only going to see 1 sack on the stat sheet, but they've been in Mark Bulger's face for 4 straight quarters.
Horton turned at the last second, almost intercepted. Good pickup of Avery. But there was a case where the Rams had no timeouts remaining. They had to go for it from their own 4-yard line.
Yep.
So 1:32 to go. The Rams can't stop the clock. And the Redskins will go 7-1 in their last 8 home openers.
Boy, Horton's had a nice day today.
Yes.
Not only that play there, but he was the guy that popped it out on Avery when the Rams were in scoring position down in the red zone.
Redskins will go to 1-1. Rams will go to 0-2. And try to build on some of the positives. Rams have their home opener next week. Jim Zorn took some chances, but he still has offensive issues because the Redskins unable to get the ball in the end zone. For the Rams, another disappointing outcome. They did some good things in the game.
No moral victories for this team, and Steve Spagnuolo will tell you that, but 2 weeks in a row you've seen outstanding effort from the St. Louis Rams as a football team. I think we all could agree on that.
Played in 2 tough places, Seattle and Washington. As the clock winds down.
Another very good effort by the Redskins defensively. 2 weeks in a row now, they've met most of their goals in terms of getting after it, and their pressure on the quarterback today, I would say. And Bulger made good throws under pressure. I think at the end of the day, that's the story for them defensively, is their pass rush was pretty heated up today.
Today's game produced by Mike Burks, directed by Sandy Grossman, associate director Tom Yohe, broadcast associate Eric Mandia, technical producer Frank Phillips, pregame show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer is Bill Brown, the executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorin and David Hill. Statistician in the booth, Emmett McGuire. Gary Lynn, our spotter. Our thanks to everyone. It's all over in Washington. The Redskins defeat the St. Louis Rams 9-7. We'll be back here at FedEx Field in just a moment.